Hi guys, coming to you from inside my house for the first time. Not out of choice, but out of necessity. I know I said I'd always come to you from on the bike. However, Mother Nature has put a spanner in the works on that one, and we woke up this morning to quite a substantial amount of snow. So, if there's ever a sign to take a day off of riding, snow would be it. Even I'm not that fanatical. So yeah, I just wanted to talk today about an interesting point that was brought up on yesterday's video. One of my subscribers has, from my understanding, got back on the bike for the first time in a long, long time, and he mentioned that he'd been a bit wary and nervous about being back on the road with all the traffic, and it's an absolutely warranted concern. And it can be very daunting. Unfortunately, in this country, England, the attitude towards cyclists is disgusting. We're pretty much universally hated unless you're one of us. It's a very sad fact, but it is what it is. And what can you do to negate this attitude? Is not a lot, but there are certain things we as cyclists can do to make sure that we are safe. Only we can take charge of our own safety. So a few things. Number one would be to treat every single road user out there like a idiot. Just assume that everyone's going to do stupid things. My biggest pet peeve is people overtaking me when I know there's a corner coming up, and they overtake just as the corner's coming, and you're just like, it's madness. It's utter madness. You get people people call it buzzing, where they come really, really close to you. I mean, like you're millimeters away from their wing mirrors hitting your handlebars. This isn't to scare you. This is just, things that have happened to me. And I do all I can to, negate being hit. And things I highly advise is lights on the bike. Obviously, in winter, if it's dusky, it's dark, you're going to have lights. But put them on even in the middle of the day. And don't scrimp out. Don't go and buy some cheap, £5 thing. Get the best light you can that's got a high lumen count and is really, really bright. I actually have two lights. I have one on the seat post and one that fixes to the back of my helmet. So when I'm like this, two lights. And you'll also notice that my attire is red for the most part. Black and red's kind of my thing. I love black and red, but the majority of it is bright red. And this is, A, because I love those colours, but B, it just works well to be seen. So definitely put your lights on, whether it's daytime, dusky, nighttime. Obviously, you'll have your lights on, and just do as much as you can to be seen. Wear bright colours, have lights. Make sure you are seen. That's all you can really do. The other thing would be to always give plenty of notice. I don't know who I'm speaking to here. I don't know if you drive, but if you drive, obviously you indicate when you come to a junction or you're turning off and everything like that. But always make sure to give clear hand signals way before you get to junctions. You're sticking your right arm out to turn right, sticking your left arm out to go left. If you're in a corner with a junction that carries on, just sort of do this so people know where you're going. It's really important to do that, and manoeuvre yourself in the road. If you have to manoeuvre yourself in the road to stop traffic so you can turn. So if there's a junction coming up on the right, I signal, quick glance over the shoulder like that to make sure no one's right up on my backside, and then I move into the middle of the road, and then ease off to then make the turn. So that is also very important to always give clear and precise hand signals about what you're going to do. It protects you, and it just lets drivers know. Can you plan for every eventuality? No, you can't. But all we can do is, is protect ourselves and do the best we can. Another thing I do, it's as if I'm going down a narrow lane and I've got a car sat behind me, and it's difficult for them to overtake. I'd rather just pull in somewhere and let them overtake so that I can carry on than let them sit behind me, getting frustrated for them to then try and overtake me at a dangerous point. I'd much rather just pull over for them. And a lot of people say, well, we shouldn't have to, we deserve to be on the road as well. Yes, that's true, we do deserve to be on the road. But I'd much rather keep a motorist happy and let them pass than them sit behind me for, because it as a driver, sometimes, you're stuck behind a bike, and even as cyclists, it feels like you're stuck behind them forever, but it's not. It's 10, 15 seconds at the most before you can get a place where you can overtake. But some people are more hot-headed than others, and, they'll either sit really close up behind you, or they'll see like a small gap and they'll try and overtake in a stupid place. Avoid that at all costs. Just pull over. The other thing is, I frequently just check over my shoulder. Just check over my shoulder like that. I mean, it takes a bit of practice. If you haven't been on the bike for a while, just go careful, because sometimes when you look too much, you can find yourself turning the handlebars, sort of subconsciously. But I always just, every now and then when I'm going along, I just give a quick check, just to see if there's anyone right up behind me. So those are my tips for being out on the road. It can be daunting, but closing comments I'd say is that you've just got to focus on what you're doing. It sounds very easy for me to say, don't worry about the traffic, don't think about it too much, but you kind of have to. You have to just blot it out of your mind. As long as you're brightly lit up, your visibility is high. You've done all you can, and drivers should see you well in time, and hopefully they won't make stupid overtakes on you. But it is unavoidable. Unfortunately, you will get people overtaking you in stupid places. It's just the nature of the beast. But if you do get buzzed, someone comes too close to you or overtakes you in a crap place, try not to let it get to you, get in your head, because it's very easy when you first start out. You're like, oh God, Jesus, that was scary. The good news is it's very few and far between. When I'm out, I probably have maybe on a long ride, I maybe have one or two people make stupid overtakes. That I deem stupid. So it's not every single car, because if it is every single car, cutting really, really close to you, you'd think, bugger this, I'm not doing this anymore. And quite rightly so. But most people are good. They will give you plenty of room, and overtake you sensibly. And if someone does give you plenty of room, feel free to stick your hand up and just say thank you. If someone's sat behind you for a little while and then they've overtaken you and they've gone wide out and given you loads of room, just a little thank you. Just put your hand up, thank you. Common courtesy. It goes a long way. And then the next time they see a cyclist, it's in their mind, oh, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope that's all makes sense. And for those of you going back out on the road for the first time in a long while, or the first time ever, enjoy it. Take your take your days out with a smile on your face and get that fresh air and that vitamin D when the sun's out, and just enjoy it. Yeah, because that's all we can do. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you all on the next one. Toodle pip.